what if the biggest, most profound mystery isn't somewhere out there in the cosmos, but actually right here, behind your own eyes? Today, we're diving deep into consciousness, that place where cutting-edge science and the most ancient wisdom are starting to tell the exact same story. So, let's jump right in.
Okay, so for this whole journey, I want you to keep this one powerful idea in mind. For a long, long time, we've believed that the brain, this incredible, intricate machine, is the lantern that actually creates the light of our awareness. But what if that's not the full picture?
For centuries, a question like this was for philosophers and priests to worry about. But now science itself is staring right into that same abyss, and it's asking a question that used to be completely off limits. When the brain's activity stops, does our awareness just blank out? And this is where things get really, really interesting. We're going to look at some clues from the very brink of death. What happens when the body's systems just shut down? And what could that possibly tell us about what consciousness actually is?
And honestly, the numbers here are just staggering. We are not talking about a few weird stories. A huge, groundbreaking study found that almost 40% of people who survived cardiac arrest said they remembered being aware while their brains had completely flatlined. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Coherent, lucid awareness with zero detectable brain activity. How is that even possible?
And we're not talking about some fuzzy, dreamlike memory. No. People describe these incredibly clear, structured experiences. Things like leaving their own bodies, traveling down a tunnel toward a brilliant light, and so often meeting this presence of just overwhelming love. And what's truly wild is how similar these stories are, no matter the culture, no matter the time period. So all of this has led some scientists to a pretty radical idea. What if the brain doesn't create consciousness at all? What if it's more like a radio receiver, just tuning into a broadcast of awareness that's already out there, that exists on its own? I mean, think about it. If your radio breaks, the music doesn't stop playing, right? You just can't hear it anymore. This one shift in thinking, wow, it could literally change everything we think we know about ourselves.
Okay, so this is all pretty mind-bending stuff about the nature of reality. But what does it mean for us, right here, right now? How does this apply to our everyday lives? Let's bring it back from the brink of death to the power you and I can tap into in this very moment.
Well, there's this wild thing in quantum physics called the observer effect. Basically, just the act of looking at a tiny particle changes it. It goes from being a wave of possibilities to just one single thing. And believe it or not, the same exact principle works inside our own minds. The second you can step back and just notice an emotion, like anger or anxiety, you're not lost in it anymore. You're observing it. You're the watcher, not the storm. And in that little gap, that's where you find your freedom.
And there's actually a super practical tool for this. It's called the STAR method. So next time you feel that rush of intense emotion, try this. First, S for stop. Just pause. Take a single deep breath. T is for think. Try to get a bigger picture, like you're looking down from above. A is for analyze. What are your actual options here? And finally, R is for react, but with intention. You're not just lashing out, you're making a conscious choice. This simple little trick, it's how you take back the controls from your automatic pilot.
All right, so let's zoom out a bit. Because this inner work you do, this awareness you build, it doesn't just stop with you. It actually radiates outward. It sends a signal out into the world.
I want you to imagine every single thought you have as a little ripple in a giant pond. It's an energy, a vibration that you're constantly broadcasting. And that broadcast is adding to the collective vibe of the whole planet. We're all influencing the shared space all the time, whether we know it or not.
And here's the thing, this isn't just some nice poetic idea. It's actually measurable. There's this thing called the Global Consciousness Project out of Princeton. And they found that when humanity's attention is focused on one big event, think about things like 9/11 or huge global meditations. These random number generators they have all over the world, they stop being random. They show these patterns that are way beyond what you'd expect from chance. It's almost as if our shared focus, our collective consciousness, can literally nudge the physical world.
So what's the big takeaway here? It's that we are not separate. We are not islands. You can think of our nervous systems like little radio towers, broadcasting our inner state out into this global electromagnetic field. We're all nodes in this vast invisible network, affecting each other constantly.
And believe it or not, this connection goes even deeper. I mean, deeper than we can probably even comprehend. So let's do one final zoom out, all the way to the scale of the entire cosmos.
Okay, just look at this. On one side, you have the neural network inside a human brain, and on the other, the cosmic web of galaxies, the largest structure in the universe. The resemblance is, well, it's undeniable, right? It's like a perfect modern picture of that ancient saying, as above, so below. It seems like the universe uses the same beautiful patterns over and over again at every single scale.
And this leads to a conclusion that is just absolutely breathtaking. Maybe you're not just a tiny person living in the universe. Maybe you are the universe experiencing itself as a person. Think about that. Through your eyes, the cosmos gets to see how beautiful it is. When you look up at the stars and feel that sense of awe, that's the universe itself feeling awe at its own creation.
So, what on earth do we do with a thought that big, with this massive cosmic perspective? Well, we bring it all the way back down, right back here, to this moment, and to the incredible power of our own choices.
You know, it feels like we're at this major turning point as a species. The future, it's not some place we're just going to end up. It's something we are actively building, together, with every thought, every action. And that choice, between a future of more division and conflict, or one of more connection and compassion, that choice is being made inside of each one of us every single day.
And this, really, is the whole point. The world out there, it's just a mirror reflecting our collective inner world. So if we want to change the world, we can't start out there. We have to start in here. The most powerful, most revolutionary thing you can possibly do is to find and grow that peace inside your own mind.
So, this is where we'll leave it. If it's true, if you really are the place where the universe wakes up and becomes aware of itself, if your consciousness is a creative force that sends ripples out across reality, then you're not just an observer. You're part of a great cosmic conversation. And the only question that really matters is, what will you whisper back?